Welcome back to Gears of War 4. Now watch as I lead this new excursion.
Just gotta figure out a way to get there.
Someone's about to.
I was about to mention in the end of the previous part, so like,
Let's go.
these are like supposed to be like futuristic colony. These reminds me of, these seem to remind me a bit of the beginning of Xenoblade Chronicles.
Basically,
Yeah, okay.
in the 20 years since Gears 3, the COG has been trying their hardest to rebuild civilization.
Rebuild.
You know,
That's cool.
The weird thing is
and here's the
that
cool
the
thing: you can switch weapons and trade, and you can take or trade weapons with your partners in this game.
That's not a bad idea.
I don't know if
that's a very
this.
good mechanic.
I don't remember if this started in the original trilogy, maybe in 2 or
I
3.
did remember seeing something like that in that Microsoft conference we watched with that Gears 3 in it.
So
I remember something so similar to that.
it might have started in 3. I don't remember. I don't usually use this feature. I just figured I'd show
Honestly,
you.
I'm more curious by the fact that usually you have your brother for co-op, but you didn't ask him to join you for this one.
And I don't. There's not really that much to speak of in terms of co-op for this game. Not to mention it would make the game go split screen, and I don't really.
Ah, okay.
Now, for those who may remember, yes, in fact, in the 6 years that we've been doing the show, we actually did see this game's birth, or rather, its introduction to the public world at E3 2016.
Well, actually, if I remember correctly, Jove, I think it was first revealed in the 3 2015, and then it was properly shown in a bigger way in the 3 2016.
I really feel like it was first announced at E3 2016, or maybe it's just more memorable because you had that rant about having to buy it because Laura Bailey was included in it at the time.
Yeah, I think there was that. Yeah.
I'll need to look back at the
Sliding
E3
vault.
footage, but yeah. It
Oh,
is
very
always-
good, Pedro. They added the movement you wanted.
Well, yeah, I just wish they would have put Laura voicing an interesting character. That would be nice.
No, Pedro, I told you, the move. You don't have to necessarily need more crouch on a cover. You can actually jump vault over it.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, allow me.
No, Pedro, you're so unpleasable. You say you wanted stuff, but when you get it, you
Lives,
still not have
Lives,
goalpost move.
That's okay. Let him finish. Go ahead, Liz.
No, I was just mocking those who are like...
Yes, Dweebs, but I was actually wanting to know more about this. Go on, Pedro.
Basically, that's the thing too. I don't really like how the feature works. Because the way it works, Theo, you can't just, do it like in other games and just approach the thing and press a button and jump over it. You have to be running towards the object in order to jump over it.
Well,
Meaning
doesn't it say that you need to use a different button to do that?
that's the thing, Theo. You have to be running, then then you have to press the button as soon as you touch the object, because if you don't do it in time, you'll just take cover behind the object. What should be a very simple, basic feature is made unnecessarily complicated. That's all I'll say. Go ahead, Joe.
Anyways, you may have noticed we have collectibles in this game, ranging from pamphlets and stuff to tell you more about the world that we're in today.
This has been a thing since Gears 3, so that's fine.
Now, I will admit, this level is pretty interesting for seeing the new bouts of technology and robots and whatnot here and there.
That being said, it also shows one of the big reasons why I don't like the first 2 acts of this game. Basically,
Wait, what?
Alright, bye then.
No citizens here.
Ha.
Really?
Yeah. Why are we killing robots now?
yeah, I was about to address that too. Let me just finish with the cutscene finishes.
Citizen, your act of violence has been noted.
You are becoming...
Yeah, you were let's just, sorry dude, but sorry dude, but Terry Jones delivered that joke better. Dude,
Now, I know
sorry.
what you're thinking. Okay, this seems like a pretty great tutorial move before it prepares for the real thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question. All right.
This is pretty
Question.
much
Shirai. You know how in the original trilogy, from what you've seen, we were fighting these threatening-looking monsters called the Locusts, right? Well,
Yes.
throughout the first 2 acts of this game, we're only fighting these robots, and that's basically it. And that's another thing that already makes the first impressions of this game, at least to me, really lackluster. Like these robots look generic, and they don't look nowhere near. Again, it boils down to the fact that this game completely abandons the horror elements.
No,
you know?
but my question is, why are we doing this? Like, did they went rogue on their own?
No, Theo. Basically, what we're doing here is we want to get... God, what's the name? I forgot. Basically, it's a device that allows them to create objects, Theo. Don't ask me how that works.
That doesn't make any sense. This is a settlement that the COG were constructing for the citizens. So I guess something had to have gone wrong.
Yes.
They need to recover this.
Allow me to explain to you. Basically, Theo, JD and his gang built... We're gonna learn more about this later, too. But basically, the game is teaching me how
He
the...
literally just shivved a robot to death.
Yeah, that's the game's way of teaching me how the melee combat works. But anyway, that's the thing, Teo. We're gonna get more about this later. But basically, Teo, JD and Dell used to be part of the COG, aka they followed in Marcus's footsteps and try to become Gears. However, they didn't agree with the Prime Minister's methods. We're gonna learn more about the Prime Minister later. But let's just say the Prime Minister is your typical corrupt, unreasonable American politician, basically.
Right. Well, she doesn't look like Sarah Palin, so there's that.
That might have been the social commentary of the time.
John, we're a bit late for that, just saying.
Well, this is
No. Even for when this game was released, Sarah Palin was relevant for 2008, 2012.
Well, actually, she was kind of still relevant for other reasons. But, Tio, may I remind you, like you yourself said, the cover was outdated because it had that Chris Redfield-looking guy on front of it.
Yeah, true that.
That is one of the best ways to describe this game, out of date. Okay, I'll just put it like this. This more quirky look, setting, and feel here. Again, maybe if the game worked with this mood, I'd be fine with it. The problem is that, well, the moves are more generic here and there.
I guess this is the equivalent.
This is the robot equivalent of the ticklers. Yes.
I mean, they look cool in how they move and explode. It's just that they're robots.
Yeah, that's the thing. The whole fighting robots thing, I understand this from a story context perspective, but in comparison to fighting the Locust, it just comes across as lame and generic to me, to be honest.
Let me put it like this. This would have worked better as just its own level. And at best, sort of a semi-introductory level, before prepping us for the real thing here and there. Like, okay, maybe you don't want to go for the horror vibe as much, but still go for the action gunner style thing here. Keep up the variety. The problem is that these robots will be the enemy for the majority of most of the time, and the other enemy we get, well, that has another bat of issues that I won't bring up because that would be spoiling. Let me just put it like this, though. In terms of mooks that actually make sense, the robots are the better party, and we already have issues with them.
Exactly. It's like, okay, it's not that I hate these enemies necessarily. There's nothing about them to hate, really. It's more so the fact that, again, much like a lot of this game, they just come across as lame, generic enemies that I don't give a shit about and don't have nearly the cool, intimidating presence that the Locust had in the original trilogy.
Like I said, they would have worked for just this level alone, not stretched out to the majority of the game.
This is one of the big reasons why I think making games chronologically taking place after 3 was a mistake, because after 3, the world is saved. It's done. There's nothing else to do. It doesn't make any sense to me to make a Gears 4. Make a prequel trilogy, not a sequel trilogy.
Even so, like we mentioned in Gears 3, have a new alien invasion altogether. Again, you're in a sci-fi setting, have an alien invader from outer space at this point.
You could have easily have made a sequel to this. Like, yes, there are definitely caveats to making a sequel. Like, yeah, it may seem a bit silly, but hey, you're making a sequel, so might as well have more stuff happen. The choices they made with this game are baffling, to say the least. Very baffling for a sequel to make. Like, it feels like they wanted to make a prequel more than a sequel with some of the decisions made. And trust me, you'll get what I mean when we get to them.
But, go ahead. No, more than that, like I said, I think the fault of the game so far is not establishing very clearly the fact that these people you're controlling are not a part of the cog, and instead are just on their own. And
Yes,
that's
I was
why
I was
and
trying to
that's why
explain
they're
that to
basically
you.
raiding, because the vibe that I was getting on, oh, they're just simply here to collect something, but then no, it turns out we're just looters.
That's because, Teo, I was trying to explain. Basically, Teo, JD and Dell used to be part of the COB, but they defected because they didn't agree with Jin's methods. Now they're part of a rebel group, and they need the. I think it's Replicator that it's called. Now that I think about it, see, things in this game are so forgettable that
They need a McGuffin. They need to bring.
they need. There's a device they need for their purposes back at camp, and Reyna, aka Kate's mom, who's the leader of the rebels, has ordered them to come in here and take it, basically, and that's what we're doing here. Don't worry, Teo. They'll make sure to make Jin a complete asshole just so you'll side with them against her.
So, okay, so here's the thing.
You know, for such a game that prides on progressiveness, making your bad guys a woman seems to be counterproductive. Just saying.
Okay. Honestly, Teo, okay, look, honestly, we really shouldn't be arguing that just because the bad guy's a woman means it's against progressive stuff, because, trust me, games have as much trouble making women villains as much as they do protagonists here in this.
Well, let me ask you a simple question that I know I probably know already the answer, but just for the routine. Is Jean, outside of, the villain that you just told me, an actual character before being, a woman or not?
She's just here to antagonize our protagonists, basically.
I have my answer.
Okay, yeah. So to be fair, it's not so much they circle around her being a woman. She's more just
Sure, I understand.
No, the fact that she's a woman is irrelevant. The big problem is that she's just here to be an annoying antagonist that just serves to frustrate us.
Fair enough, but it also, again, the whole situation has also what I think you, Pedro, mentioned foreshadowing in one of the previous games, the fact that the entire point of the original trilogy was to unite humanity together, and now that we had 20 years of peace, we're back to square one, essentially.
Well, okay.
Good job, Tay. You just decided one of the big problems I have with the New Gears games. Good job.
Okay, it's not exactly that we're back at square one, but oh my god, Pedro, I think I realized what the point of that Pendulum Wars bit at the start was for now.
Don't get me wrong, I understand the necessity of creating a conflict and everything, but the fact, it's a bit disheartening, the fact that the efforts that you have worked your ass so far as amount instead to this, it's kind of sad.
To be fair, this is not as bad as a lot of those kind of sequels / reboots like to do. Like, to be fair, it's not like the world is absolutely bleak or anything. Like, it is technically
that's for 5.
better.
That's for Gears 5.
Anyway, since we're talking about this game, if I can say that the saturation does do one good thing, it is trying to show that the world is not as crapsack as it was in the original trilogy. Like I said, the game's gonna have its issues with the color setting here, but that is one good thing I could see the coloring doing, is showing that the world is not as bleak as it was before.
I understand that, Jova. It's just that I still argue that bleakness was kind of part of the series' appeal. The fact that we were in this bleak war where we could die at any moment because because there were such strong opponents against us. That whole thing.
But don't you see, Pedro? Now the war is over, so.
And that's why I don't really agree with the idea of making a sequel trilogy. It's called Gears of War for a reason. You should have war in it.
Oh, don't worry.
Even in terms of unpopular stuff following earlier ones, even the Star Wars prequels had wars.
In space, yeah.
Pedro.
Had Star Wars.
Anyway, Pedro, we technically get wars back in 5.
We do. Maternity.
So
we're actually going to establish some world building right now. So I actually would like you guys to pay attention to these lines here.
Just all the baby stuff.
Yeah, Kate doesn't like maternities. Listen here.
No, I have an issue with being told I need to have one.
Oh, she hates being told that she needs to have a
To
baby.
be fair, Joe, but the setting will probably encourage this kind of behavior, so I can understand this time the game where the game is going.
The idea is that because of the whole war that lasted a shit ton of time, the human race has seen better days in terms of population. Let's say so. Throughout
they're encouraging breeding.
They're encouraging. Okay. Like Theo said, I can understand. There's at the very least a reason for why they're doing this. It's not entirely unreasonable. That's all I'm trying to say.
I also understand Kate being afraid of this kind of thing, because I can imagine the pressure that the expectations, and what instead she wants to do with her life.
Okay, I'll just point out why I made that joke about it. Yeah, subtle bits like this alone would actually be good for her character here. Here's the problem. They overdo it with Kate's character here. Her character eventually turns into just, oh, I'm sick of them telling me what I need to be, and don't. Okay,
yeah.
Under normal circumstances, okay. Let me put it like this: under normal circumstances, that would be a good character arc. Being sick of being told what you're supposed to be and wanting to figure it out for yourself. However, let's just say they kind of turn her into Rey from Star Wars, and you'll see what I mean.
Well, then I can understand, like I said, but again, at least for now, for this particular issue, I can actually understand, and it's justified by how the world, has been built. So at least there is
to give you an idea, Shiroi.
Okay. Just to point out, the reason I joke is because my view of it is tainted because they kind of ruin any. Let me put it. Yeah, definitely hindsight. Ain't that right, Pedro?
Yes.
Regarding good old Kate.
No. Java's. Cutscene.
There's a construction hub. They're following regs, and they always.
What was Avengers Tower for us?
Also, I actually forgot who voices JD.
I forgot.
I'll check.
A guy who's basically trying to be the Nolan North.
Nolan North.
It's not. I do remember that at least. Basically, Shiroi, to give you an idea, Gears.
Liam McIntyre.
Oh, I've heard that name before.
I don't know.
Actually, I haven't, but go on in the meantime.
To give you an idea, Shiroi, the Gears fan base regards Microsoft as the Disney to Gears Star Wars.
Pretty much.
It's basically a very, very similar scenario where.
Why did you backtrack?
That's the thing too. If I'm going to be totally honest here, it's been a long time since I recorded this, so I don't even remember what my thought process was.
Okay, I found, on one hand, Liam McIntyre has been in stuff as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Ah, that's where I've heard of him from.
And The Flash.
Also heard of him
On the other?
He was in Legend of Hercules.
The one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, the one with Callum Lutz.
It's one movie. Like I guess, like those. Oh, I can do sales.
But
and he's also been in stuff that I don't remember many people talking about, such as The Clearing, See You Soon.
Yeah, that's just typical.
Never heard of them.
That's just typical. I need to pay the bills affairs. Like I wouldn't say it's a mark against him.
To build up on Teo's earlier point, yeah, that's actually one of the primary issues that I've heard from Gears fans while I was going through the original trilogy. That the original trilogy is all about uniting against the greater threat, whereas the sequels, especially 5, are all find excuses to have divisiveness, not just even between humanity in general, but even the main cast itself. In 5, particularly in 5. Let me just finish though.
For a game series from this point onward that's tried to be all inclusive, there's a lot of division going on in it.
And it is
that's what I was arguing. It's one of those things where
very contrived.
And that's one of the primary issues I have with the Gears of War sequels. They've completely removed the horror elements. They've changed the main. They've took away the united against the greater threat thing. They took away the war aspect, not just in name. Like even the actual war aspect is gone in this game. It just. This game, in comparison to the other ones, just comes across to me as just a generic cover-based shooter, really, to be honest.
Don't get me wrong.
So we're gonna call this game now Fighting of Tiff.
No. Anyway,
Terminator Rebuild.
I think I have realized something.
Ow.
Yes, Jova?
Okay, I think I realized what was the point of the very first co-op bit during the... once again, we're back to factions against factions here. Since
Yeah, I was about to say, like, don't get me wrong, I do understand this potential inevitability. Mankind is destined to conflict. There will never be real peace, and there will always be someone displeased with what's going on and wanting to cause chaos destruction, because simply put, we are in our quest for social as a social race, we are afraid of stability, of complete full stability, and always want something different. So these in turns generate, thanks to ripple effects, people who want chaos and destruction again, like the Joker, for example. But the point is, I can understand the idea that for a game like Gears of War, eventually in the future, humanity may not be standing united completely. I understand that. It's just that I'm not sure we needed a sequel that could have showed us that.
No.
Like, again, it makes the effort, all that fighting, all that suffering, all that sacrifice. I mean, Dom died for this. I know that I'm making just a single example because so many people makes a point of the simple soldiers at the beginning. Those simple soldiers died at the beginning for this.
It's all right, cutscene. I'll address your point later.
Oh, look at that. Cog deactivated our access code.
Also, am I the
Again,
only one who finds it ironic that even though we're technically against the COG, they still have the COG symbol show up when you rack up the bonuses? I mean, I know what's gonna happen.
I mean, modern problems require modern solutions. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
That was at least funny.
I'm glad you're enjoying him, Shiroi, because he's not going to be around for much.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, quick question. Oh.
Yes, go ahead.
Like for you and or Jova, is the game at least fun to play?
It is. Well, it's basically. It's
Like, is it good for its genre?
allow me, Jova.
Okay, it's fine for its genre.
No. Like, as a cover-based shooter, the game is perfectly functional and works exactly how it should. Basically, it's a more refined version of Gears of Gears of War 3's gameplay. Basically,
In terms of screwing the pooch with gameplay, that's more Gears of War 5, and that's with the multiplayer.
Gears.
Boy.
The issue, Shiroi, is that, again, it's one of those cases where, the gameplay is good. The game is technically functional and fun to play if you like cover-based shooters. It's just that there are better cover-based shooters out there that you could be playing instead of this one.
I don't like our good old...
In the same way that Last of Us Part 2 is technically a good game gameplay-wise, but you might as well be playing Metal Gear Solid 5, which is a much better game, a much better stealth action game than Last of Us Part 2 is.
Here's the thing about Gears of War. What attracts people to Gears of War are three major things: good gameplay, good narrative, and good multiplayer. Gears 4 missed out on the good narrative. Then Gears 5...
even if it's not as bad as the one in 5, in the multiplayer in 4 was not that superlative.
It wasn't either, but Gears 5 outright took a hatchet to it.
This is also because, like I mentioned, the multiplayer for games starting with Judgment will be co-handled by Splash Damage, a team that was responsible for making gold multiplayer for games in the past, but apparently when they touch Gears, they fuck things up, and oh shit, and the only good thing they seem to have spawned is their tactics recently.
Okay,
allow me to
I'm reminded of the left bit in Half-Life now. Thank you very much for that.
I was also like to address your earlier point too. Yes, like you were saying, Dom died for this. Adam, allow me to remind you, also sacrificed his life so that. And remember, Teo, remember when Adam was saying to Marcus, "After this, I want you guys to live your life in peace." And me and Jova were going, "Oh my God, hindsight is such a bitch." Sorry, Adam. But Microsoft has different plans. There you go, Teo. Now you're seeing where we were coming from in that.
Fabricator, that's the name.
Honestly,
That's it, Fabricator.
Here's what they could have done for Gears of War 4. It's the same thing I said for Last of Us 2. Maybe have this be a different world, different cast of people completely or whatnot. Like, and before you say, but it's technically a different cast of people here, Yeah, let's
That's
just
the
say
Fabricator. I thought it was gonna be like a pistol. This
Basically,
entire
Teo,
fucking box.
it allows you to create cannons and armor shit. Don't ask me how that works. You can pull big weapons out of that thing somehow. Don't ask me how.
Get this thing moving.
It's Pandora's box.
The game has this thing, Teo, where there's a point system. You know, like, and you can create. I'm about to show it actually. I think. Yeah.
Build
Approach the
weapons.
Fabricator. There you go. I have available 5,000 points, meaning I can get as many things as the points allow me. For now, I can only get guns that I use in the shooting sections. However, later on, Teo, it's also going to be used to create portable cannons that I can put. Basically, Teo, the tower.
Shop system also.
Basically, Teo, the tower, the RTS sections from Judgment are back in this game. And the Fabricator is going to be used to create stuff to defend my territory.
I mean, it's
Now-
an interesting idea, but it seems a bit too simple.
It
Let me
is.
If you ask me.
Let me put it like this. The problem with this system is like, well, it's a bit of a showstopper in terms of the pacing as well. Not only that, but whereas the RTS and Judgment felt, I can't believe I'm saying this about Judgment, the RTS actually felt somewhat natural. Here they feel more scripted of sorts.
Not
shall
just
we
that,
say.
not just that, Jova. They're here mostly to pad the game out as well, because this game is already short enough as it is. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of the RTS stuff in this game feels like it's, in a lot of times it feels unnecessary. And it feels like it was just done to pad the game length. To be honest with
And
you.
I can't believe I'm saying this. At least with Judgment, those felt natural. Yes, I'm already complimenting Judgment over this game. That's a good sign of the trouble we're in.
But let me address Teo's earlier point though. That's one of the primary issues I have with the sequel trilogy. Well, not trilogy yet, but yeah. That's one of the problems I have with the sequels post free Teo. The fact that let's just say, Teo, the game is not done making Adam's sacrifice in vain, because we still have yet to introduce the primary threat of this game, and let's just say I don't like it for now.
Alright then, I guess.
Alright, so we'll see you for the next part of my epic adventure.
Yes, your lame epic adventure with
Oh.
robots. There you go, Dwebs. See, I got to shoot creepy-looking monsters. You get to shoot lame robots. Enjoy.
Well, I mean, that depends. Is it at least a build up to when maybe we can fight cooler robots?
It's certainly build up, all right.
We'll get back to you on that. See you, everybody.
Yeah.
Later.